you, jackass.
Welcome, everybody, to Dueling Aces the week before Christmas, December 16th. Time is ticking away quickly. Bruiser, how the hell are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine.
You look so thrilled today. It was a beautiful day. It was 55 degrees out.
Oh, I'm. You
Food
spend
coma?
8 hours outside in that, George?
No.
George, did you
Actually,
spend 8 hours? I did. I did.
yeah.
So no, you don't get to tell me it was a beautiful day. I spent 8 hours outside in the rain.
Oh. I'm sorry. When I got out there, it wasn't raining. Well, it was like a little drizzle, but I
It
mean,
rained.
you could barely
It
tell.
it rained all day.
Yeah,
Why
no,
is this logging in?
I was stuck inside. I was totally stuck indoors.
No,
So,
we worked. I had work all day.
okay. Well, we know Zolt's not jumping
Then
in
I,
tonight. You know, he's feeling
yeah,
there's something going around. Bryce had it last week, so you know it's understandable.
and Sam's a
There's a
pansy.
little something. What's that?
I said, and Sam's a pansy. So
And that actually, we're missing Adam. Adam hasn't been around in a cup of coffee. That's who I know we're also missing. I thought for sure after the Michigan Ohio State thing, you definitely would hear from him and he'd be chiming in, but nope, still ain't heard from him. So,
he was in the chat that night.
oh, you know,
Yeah, but
but
he
I know
disappears for a
I know
while. It's fine.
he has been no, but he has been busy as all get out. I know I checked in with Gail too, and I know that he has just been jamming. I mean, I happened to see him on one of his others shows on Saturday a couple of weeks back. He looks exhausted as all get out. So I do know he has been jamming. Hopefully after the new year things will settle down and well, right after the new year we'll have a lot of this bowl game playoff thing covered. And I know that Sam touched on it on 609 Sports Talk earlier today. We covered it last week. But it officially
Sort of.
kicks off this week, correct?
Friday.
We are getting it officially
Friday night.
kicked off.
Yeah, Friday night is a couple of the first round matchups. Friday and Saturday.
I think the only surprise, well, not really a surprise, but the quote unquote upset is going to be Tennessee over Ohio State, but that in itself is going to be just a railroaded game because I don't expect
Not going to be
Ohio State to get squat.
Not going to be a railroad. Everybody, it's not going to be a railroad. Georgia aren't frauds.
Georgia's a total fraud.
No,
Dude,
they're not.
they shown
Hey,
they've been
how
total
many times
frauds.
has your team played Georgia this year?
They
Zero.
were shown
How many
they've
times has
been
my
total
team played
frauds.
Georgia? Twice. Is your
Yes.
team in the SEC? Is my team in the SEC? I watch Georgia more than you do. Georgia's not frauds.
Oh, they're total frauds. I watched Georgia. Texas should have turned around and whooped them. This
No, they
last game,
shouldn't
they
have,
should have.
George.
Yes, they should have. Yes, they
No,
should
they
have.
shouldn't have. No, they shouldn't have. You do not know.
You don't drop 28 passes in 3 straight series. Jesus,
It's
Christopher.
not just the drop pass. It also goes back to the quarterback. Look at Quinn Ewers. Watch him play. He gets happy feet. He doesn't make the connection with the ball. He's a bad quarterback. They had a
Oh,
better
come
rhythm.
on.
Yes. Yes. If Arch Manning had been in there, then yes, I would say, sure, they should have beat Georgia. They didn't put Arch Manning in. The team had a better rhythm with Arch Manning than they do with Quinn Ewers. Same thing that happened last year. Same thing happened in the Washington game in the playoff last year.
It's my opinion. I still think they're frauds.
They're not. I can tell you they're not by watching them.
I was gonna say, like I said, I
Are they
watched them too.
are they national I can guarantee you I've watched them more than you did this year. Are they national championship material? No. But are they frauds? No. The team that's a fraud to me is Notre Dame.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to explain this on 609 and nobody wanted to listen.
Shoot.
Your highest win against a ranked opponent was Navy, and they were like 16th when you beat them.
I think that
That
was
was the
Notre Dame.
highest win. No, Army was 19th when they beat them. When Notre Dame beat Navy, Navy was ranked 16th. So part of the problem, and everybody is all up in arms because I said, hey, really, Notre Dame needs to join a conference. Notre Dame doesn't need to join a conference. Yes, yes, they do. Here's
Yeah.
why. Because here's the benefit you get from being in a conference. The reason why Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Tennessee, uh, South Carolina, Ole Miss, A&M, members of the SEC, when they lose, don't get dropped as far, or when they win, go up higher, is because the strength of the overall conference lifts all the teams. A high tide raises all ships, right? Same with the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the Pac 12. When the conference overall is good, even the lower seeded teams in the conference get the benefit of the doubt and get ranked higher than they probably should. So don't tell me that Notre Dame doesn't need to be in a conference. Second, you don't play a conference championship game, you don't get the benefit that the teams that did do. Third, I wasn't mad or saying that because Notre Dame did their job and beat the teams that they were supposed to beat that they should get punished. But you look at Texas's schedule, you look at Georgia's schedule, Alabama's schedule, Old Miss's schedule, Tennessee's schedule. They played more top 10 ranked opponents than Notre Dame did. And that was in conference play. That wasn't even just non-conference. That was in conference play. That was in their conference. So when you put all that together and you say you didn't beat a team that was ranked higher than 15, you didn't play in a conference championship game, you didn't win your conference because you weren't in one. You can't go around touting how you should be a national championship contender because you don't have the resume that the other teams there do. Now, the other team that I would say is a fraud is Arizona State. They have a bye simply because they won their conference. They did what they were supposed to do, but that bye should not be Arizona State. That bye should have gone to, I think that bye should probably go on to Clemson. Clemson was ranked higher than Arizona State, and
But
Clemson won their conference.
well, like we were saying, it's a Power Five, but they're only doing four. So
But easy. So you're going to rotate it next year and tell me that the Big 12 is not a Power Five and the ACC is?
or maybe say that the Big Ten gets shafted on it and make the Big Ten
Or
win it.
or does the SEC get shafted? Or
Who gets the shaft next year?
exactly.
Like I
Exactly. It
said,
should be. It
this
should
is
be.
still this is still
I,
ugly.
but
The
here's
playoff
the thing.
format still ugly.
It's not. It's not as. It's got its warts for sure. But the thing is that it should be your four highest ranked conference champions, regardless of conference. Clemson was ranked higher than Arizona State. Clemson should have got the bye. Arizona State should be playing Texas in the first round. Just plain and simple. However, Arizona State's fraud. Notre Dame is a fraud. Those are fraud teams. Georgia's not a fraud team. Ohio State's not a fraud team. I will say
No,
though,
Ohio State just sucks.
Ohio State just has a terrible offense. I would not be surprised if Ohio State beat Tennessee. Is it likely to happen? Is it likely to happen? No, but I would not be surprised if Ohio State beat Tennessee. However, I love what Tennessee fans are doing. Did you see what they're doing?
No, I had not.
Tennessee fans put out the seating chart to the stadium, to the ticket brokers down in Tennessee, Tennessee fans down in Tennessee and up here, and are trying to buy out sections of the shoe to make it the checker pattern that's down at Neyland Stadium at Tennessee. I I was like, that's awesome. When I saw that, I laughed so hard.
That's funny. That is very funny.
Yeah, we get Indiana Notre Dame at 8 o'clock on Friday night, and I think Indiana's going to beat Notre Dame.
Really?
Yep,
Wow.
I think Indiana's going to beat. I don't probably not by much, but I think Indiana's going to beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's Friday, 8 o'clock, and then Saturday are the other three.
Yeah, with
SMU
Ohio
and Penn State at noon, Texas and Clemson at
at
4,
3.
4. It's now 4 o'clock.
Four East Coast time, 3 o'clock Central.
Bite me, you and your Central. 4.
Hey, Austin is on Central
We
time.
live in the Eastern time zone. It's 4 o'clock. And 8 o'clock is the natural disaster. And OSU is favored by 7. That is a joke.
Who's favored by 7?
OSU is favored by 7.
I can see that.
Not when you can't stop a run game. There's no way. Texas is favored by 11.5.
They'll win by 3.
Penn State 8.5. Notre Dame 7.
Notre Dame's favored by 7,
Yep.
and Penn State's favored by 7.
8.5.
Favored by 8.5.
8.5.
They're not winning. They're not winning by 8.5. I don't think they're winning.
Who, Penn State?
No, no. Notre Dame's not winning by 8.5.
No. Notre Dame is only by 7.
Notre Dame's not winning by 7, and they're not winning.
Hi, Sam. How you doing? 8.5, no chance. Yeah.
Sam, you had an invitation to come in here. Unlike you, we let people into our show.
Wow. Oh.
In fact, I was the one that said, "Hey, Sam, come on in here." I told George to go get you.
Jeez. It's ruffling the feathers already. So, Texas, you're saying Texas, Tennessee, Penn State, and Indiana then. Round 1.
No, SMU over Penn State.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I picked SMU over Penn State. I picked SMU over Penn State because SMU has a very effective quick strike offense and can move the ball at a pace that I don't think Penn State can keep up with. So if you can get SMU to like they say 17-10 lead within the first half, it's something that SMU can build upon. They're not going to win a grinded out game against Penn State, but if they can move the ball quickly and put points on the board, and either touchdowns or field goals, doesn't matter. I think they can beat Penn State.
I'm a little. We don't have enough offensive power. Firepower. Yeah. My big question is do you think that this is, I mean, a month? You're literally looking at a month of this thing going down.
Yeah.
Do you think it's pretty much about the right time frame that you anticipate?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because you're given time to rest in between games. You're getting 2 weeks essentially.
You're getting 10 days.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 10 business days. I don't have a problem with it. I think I would, to be honest though, I would remove the bowl component from the second round. and do another set of home games because how cool is it that Boise State could host a playoff game or that Arizona
Yeah, Arizona State, Oregon, Boise State. Yeah, that they all get to host. It's kind of
host a
like
play.
you're
So
actually being punished because
now
you
here's the
weren't.
thing. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it regional. So that's why
Yeah,
Boise State's got the Fiesta Bowl.
yeah.
That's why George is at the Sugar Bowl. But I would flip flop and I'd put Georgia in the Peach Bowl and I would have put Arizona and Texas
In the
in the
Fiesta.
Cotton Bowl. In the Cotton.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. That's a good one.
Now you could argue that that is a home game for Texas, but I will also say to you, Oklahoma manages to travel down there to Dallas every year. I think Arizona can make it too.
Yeah.
It is I do like what they did though, trying to make the games regional. Um, I would have made I'd have flipped the Peach Bowl and the Cotton Bowl because
Okay.
you're gonna ask Texas and Arizona to travel to Georgia for the Peach Bowl when it's easier for both teams to go to the Cotton Bowl. It's less on the fans, it's less on the teams and the players.
Well, here's the other thing. These were actually established well before the teams were. So,
I know it was, but it doesn't hurt you to flop them when you're announcing the playoffs. Hey, the Cotton Bowl is gonna host the first round game, and the Peach Bowl is gonna get a semifinal game.
well, you also got to remember on the availabilities because remember the Atlanta Falcons play in the Mercedes Dome, so the championship game is being played in the Mercedes Dome too.
You're okay, so move the Peach Bowl across the road. Go play it at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's not. You know what I mean? Like there are stadiums around the Atlanta area that you could play the Peach Bowl at, and you're playing and it's on the 10th of January it's on New Year's Day, which is a Wednesday. The Atlanta Falcons aren't playing, and I think they're away that week.
Well, you also don't know what concerts are planned either.
Who cares about the concert? It's probably some shitty country band, like it always is.
Wow, boy, you just ruffling everybody. Everybody's free game today. Look at that.
Except for you, I can't make fun of you. You give me gold, and I can't.
I appreciate it. Oh. um, I I wanted to turn around and get over. I know this is we'll be beating this dead horse till the cows come home. I want to talk about the
Heisman,
no, don't want to get into that just yet.
how
Don't
it's
want
the award for the best overall player and not the best position player.
yeah, no, we're not getting into that yet. I want to talk about the seriousness of the
Marshall
Marshall.
and how stupid it is that the transfer portal opens the before the end of the season.
Yep.
The that so
This is almost the biggest. and ugliest thing.
I feel bad for the students of Marshall who went to the games down there in Huntington every week. They had home games. I have gone to some Thundering Herd games. I had friends. I had a few friends. I had a girl that I was dating a long time ago who lived in Huntington, West Virginia, just over the border from Ohio into West Virginia. um, Gone to a few Marshall games. Have tailgated down there. It's a lot of fun. I feel bad for the students of that university. I feel bad for the athletic trainers and the cheerleaders and the marching band. The
And what about the rest of the
individuals.
players behind?
Can you let me finish a
Right?
sentence?
It's a run
I
on.
feel I feel bad for the people who aren't leaving. That includes coaching staff and players who aren't leaving, who aren't hitting the transfer portal or taking other jobs, who are sticking with that university, who are getting screwed out of a reward for having a successful season. I feel bad for the university because that's a decent amount of money that comes in for making a bowl game.
Hmm.
So
And you're playing Army, who was a top 25 team on top of it too. So it's not like you're playing anybody not
correct.
worthy.
Yeah, you're not. It's not like you're playing a schlub team. You're playing Army,
Right.
and so I said it. I said it in the chat on 609, and I said it. I think in our chat. There has to be the transfer portal should not open until midnight the day after the college football championship game.
Agreed.
Coaches should not be allowed to transfer, should not be allowed to take new jobs until the day after the college football championship game at midnight.
Or be released. Or be released. If we're gonna do
Well,
it, let's do it for both ways. If you're gonna whack the coach
so
because of you're gonna whack the coach anyway. You wait until after that bowl game is over.
I can, yeah, in a lot of instances they have. There's been a couple lame duck coaches that have gone on to coach their bowl game and knew they were getting fired. There's been a handful of them, not a lot, but there's been a handful. Um,
This,
the
this is ugly.
it's a black eye on college football for sure. Um, the the problem with it is that everybody will say, "Well, that's what the sports turned it into. That's why there's all this money, and it's the money fault." And to an extent, I'll agree and say sure, but I I would say that the impatience of college football fans and boosters has always been there. And some of this is driven by the boosters who are like, let's throw another 10 million into the NIL fund and see who we can get.
But,
And
but this was stemming from the firing of the coach. And the coach turned around and went from the top program in Marshall to the bottom program that barely won 3 games this year.
where'd he go?
Uh, man, I just had it. Hang on. I just had it.
Because Marshall's an AAC team.
Yeah, it's Southern Miss. I didn't want to say Old Miss. I was like, that's not right.
So he
It's
went to Southern. He went to Southern Miss.
he went. It goes from first place Marshall to last place Southern Miss.
Well, so he went to Marshall. He left Marshall. The
Got
question I would
fired.
have is
He got
Why
fired.
did? But hold on. My question would be: is why did you get fired? Why did you get fired? What happened that there were boosters calling for your head?
He's only seen 17 wins in the past 5 years, and this season was his best, and won the conference. Won the conference
How,
championship
how
game.
many wins did they have this year? 9.
Was it 8 or 9? Yeah, I want to say it was 8 or 9. I know somebody had it up. I know somebody had it. Southern Miss. Hang on.
9 wins.
Come on. Seven and one, 10-3 overall.
So you had 10 wins. You had 10 wins. You had 17 in the last 5 years, which means you had two, two,
So
and
goes from
3.
10-3, and Southern Miss was 1-11.
Southern Miss has never been that good. I have a friend who is an alumni of Southern Miss. Southern Miss has never been that good. But you're in the Sun Belt. So let's not pretend like the Sun Belt is, one of the better conferences. Also, you the administration and the individuals who made that call to fire the coach um, should also be relieved because you just cost your school a lot of money and
Million.
you cost your kids who didn't do anything wrong an opportunity. Some of those kids are seniors who are never going to get to experience this and go and do that, and you just cost them that.
Yeah, you just took it from them. You totally
What
took a
comp
bowl game.
what compensation are you going to offer those kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally got robbed. And it's like, shame on those kids.
Why shame on the kids?
Jump in the portal.
Oh, the portal
You've got
kid.
you've got time. You've got plenty of time. You got plenty
I'm
of
not.
time.
Look, once you fire the coach and you rescind the invitation to the bowl game.
Well, they didn't rescind it until after all the players jumped into the portal. That's when they had to rescind it.
Hey,
Those
you
30
could.
kids, those 30 kids turn around and cost their teammates that
I'm
opportunity.
not saying I'm not saying that they're not, but the ultimate decision started with the university for making a dumb choice. And if the NCAA from the beginning had said you cannot do the transfer portal until midnight, the day after the national championship game. So the national championship game is on the 9th.
20th.
Just listen to me for a second. I'm just picking a date because it has been on the 9th in the past.
Right.
So just listen to the example before you correct me there, Thomas.
I'm just helping you along.
Not you.
Just helping you along.
So if the championship is on the 9th, then midnight on the 10th into the 11th is when you can hit the portal.
And I don't disagree with you.
Good night, bud. Love you.
Thomas. Yeah, I
That
do not disagree with you at all.
coaching staff movements, that's when it can happen. And I think to be fair to recruits and recruiting classes, you have a 3 week window, right?
Easily.
What where let's say if the championship is on the 9th, midnight on the 10th, January's got 31 days in it. So midnight of January 31st into February 1st, you have 21 days to solidify your transfer portal and your coaching moves. And then after that, the portal closes and you cannot make any more coaching moves. Portal closes on the 1st. You got 21 days to get in the portal and find where you're going. Like free agency in the NFL. And then it closes. It closes on the 1st because then you can be fair to the kids that you're going to college, you're going on college visits to go talk to, and you're going to go recruit. Because then they know Sarkeesian, Bill Belichick, Urban Meyer, Lincoln Riley is going to be there for at least a year. I'm going to go play for this guy for at least a year. I know he's going to be there for the full season.
Okay.
So I think that is the type of move that I would like to see happen. I'm sure I'm wrong, but I think that's the fair way to do it.
I'm trying to find.
And I'll even do you one better. I'll do you one better. Because most spring games take place the tail end of March, early part of April, right? The Scarlet and Gray game, the Orange and White game, the everybody's big spring game usually takes place in like March, April. So let's say, you know, kid commits to Ohio State, goes to Ohio State, gets through the spring program, plays in the spring game, and they're not gonna play him this year, and they don't want to redshirt him. So he's got to make a choice. I would I would say, okay, your transfer portal opens up for 21 days after the end of the college football championship game. After the spring game, you open it up for 30 days. And then you close it, and then it's closed for the season. Any movement that's going to happen because it's pre-draft in the NFL, so kids are trying to make NFL decisions. And hey, maybe they were originally going to go to the draft, and now the draft stock's not great, but wide receiver out of Texas thinks he can do better and raises draft stock in by playing for Washington, and he misses the window in January, but now it's open in April.
This is pretty sick. This is the listing of who all left. They all four, and I say all because there were four, all four quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Marshall had all four, 8 wide receivers.
You lost your entire offense.
Yeah, 8 wide receivers, all 4 quarterbacks, and yet only 1 running back. But I think I counted about 7 or 8 DBs, and it's like,
Good.
yeah, and then like 6 or 7 defensive linemen. So you have no
Few
defense
offense.
and no offensive stars.
There's some offensive linemen in there too. Look,
That's
what the kids
brutal.
transferring away did was just as heinous as what the university did. However, when the university says we're going to fire the head coach and we're going to rob you of the head coach, I can't blame the players for making that decision either. You know what I mean? What the players did was reactionary to what the university did. Was it right? No, because two wrongs don't make a right.
And I hadn't even thought, it's like all of those players, like you were saying, all of those guys, all those kids just were robbed of that opportunity. And I think it's what LA Tech is replacing
Louisiana
Marshall.
Tech. Yep.
Yeah. Louisiana Tech is replacing Marshall in the game. Um, I mean, damn, that's and of course Louisiana Tech, who is not expected to turn around and do anything, you know, and go, okay, wait a minute, what?
They're a sacrificial lamb to Army. That's all they are. They're a sacrificial lamb to Army who got hosed by Navy.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Navy turned around and wasn't playing around. They were not playing around. They came to lay a whooping on Army.
That game got ugly. That game got ugly quick.
I was impressed. I was like, yeah, buddy, this was pretty good. The uniforms were awesome. And
I love
when they went over that description about each uniform, I totally forgotten about the snow effect on that.
on the sides and the helmet
Yes.
because
That
I was
was
looking at it and I was like, those uniforms are a little glossy to be reflecting the light like that. And then I went, oh, shit, it's the snow.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Yep. Those uniforms were awesome. They are really doing an excellent job every flipping year. And it's like, you know what? Why not do that with some of the other schools as they're getting, into the playoff? It's like, dude, come up with something like that, especially when you're gonna get into one. Why not? It's like, hey, come up with a good alternative jersey, you know, especially once you know you're bowl eligible, have something in mind. Because I'm sure it would be pretty slick. I mean, I'm sure Texas could come up with something really snazzy too.
Texas has a couple that I saw they might do. Um, but
Like,
the
yeah, Mike, I was wondering because yeah, it is in your backyard.
I tell you what though, the one the the part that I enjoyed was that both teams got a flyover,
Hmm.
and to see the Apaches and a couple other the big helicopters flying over when Army hit the field was kind of cool. But the fact that when Navy took the field, they had the Jolly Rogers fly overhead.
Hmm.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was really cool. Mike says we heard him. Yeah, those flyovers were really nice.
Somebody asked me about I think it was Thomas. It was either Thomas or Christina asked me about the Jolly Rogers. She's like, "Well, why are they so, you know, important?" And I was like, "They are. That is the flight squadron that you call in when shit hits the fan." I was like, they're one of the only flight squadrons in the Navy that has tail art.
Yeah, and they were even represented in the Planes movie too, which was pretty cool. They were the Jolly Wrenches though in the movie in Planes.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't.
in
So I had.
Planes
I've
Planes number 2.
I've never seen planes
Planes. Yeah, it was the first Planes. Yep, the very first one.
because
Oh,
that was
oh,
like
pre
no.
post
I know Disney did like they were doing a whole thing of like they had cars and they had planes and then like they were
they
gonna
were
do a
they
boats.
were this close to doing trains. It was this
Well,
close to trains.
they were gonna do a boats one and it got scrapped.
Yeah, the first Planes movie, because the second one is the firefighter one. But yeah, the first one is has the Jolly Wrenches in it. It's the first one.
I'll have to go check it out now.
Yeah, it was really cool. They're called the Jolly Wrenches.
But
It was cool.
I was telling my wife, I'm like that's who that's who the Navy calls in when the shit hits the fan and they call them the Jolly Rogers. I was like, because that's the so. But to see both teams and the uniforms get represented with the flyovers, and I do like all the pageantry that has been in the game that they're televising now, like the recruits, the cadets, the exchange of prisoners at the 50-yard line before the game. Um, the stuff like I think that is fun, and I'm glad they're putting that on television and showing that. And you could you could really feel it through the TV. I know, David, that the exchange has always been a thing. What I'm saying though is that it wasn't always televised. They didn't always make a big deal out of it, and now they're making a big deal out of it, and that's what I appreciate.
Yeah, it's really well done too. It's very well done.
The fact that game day goes there now, and they, you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
they're trying to give that game the same gravitas and treatment that they would give Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, USC, UCLA, Stanford, Notre. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to give that game the same amount of pomp
They're,
and circumstance that they would give the other ones.
yep, they're giving it the respect and just re- the just due that it definitely deserves, and it's rightfully should.
100%. 100%.
No, it was a lot of fun to watch. Um I had the opportunity to be at home, get to relax, and um yeah,
Yeah, college game day wasn't there this year, which is weird. I'll give you that. They have
well,
been the last few years.
I was saying they were. Where were they this year?
They weren't anywhere. They college game day wasn't on the air Saturday unless it took place from the studio in the morning. But usually they're at the
Oh, oh, let me see.
it would be cool. It would be cool if that game had a permanent home. Like playing that game in Philly or playing it at you know Buffalo or playing it in the Meadowlands at the New York at the Giants Jet Stadium.
They have no excuse why game day wasn't there this year.
Yeah,
They
there
said
wasn't
the
anything
next
going
time
on.
game day will be is on Friday when they do Notre Dame against Indiana.
Yeah, I know.
They totally just skipped it. They said that's
I
it.
would I would really like to see them do a have that game have a permanent home.
Saw a meme of them putting a temporary stadium in downtown DC, like how Northwestern played this year at their stadium. Huh.
I know that in days of yore, back when DC wasn't the bustling metropolis that it was, they did play the game in an area of what had become Arlington National Cemetery. I want to say that was in the late 1800s. But
Okay.
let's move on from that. Let's talk about the
Nine?
thing that everybody. Let's talk about the thing that everybody else is all up in arms about.
No, not yet.
Yes, we're gonna talk
Nope.
about it.
Nope. Not yet.
Yeah,
Not yet. Nope.
you're
Got one
not.
more.
You're not.
Got one
You're
more
not gonna
serious.
leave me
Got,
5 minutes to talk about this.
nope. No, I'm not. I'm not. But I got one more thing that's got to get covered, and that's the
We
announcement that Randy Moss is battling cancer and will not be on the airways for a little while as he's trying to battle that.
It'll get better. 1 in 6 people get cancer nowadays.
Wow.
It, yeah, I know it sounds insincere. I don't mean it that way.
I was just like, dude.
I know it sounds insincere, but the 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 statistic is 1 in 6 people get cancer. 1 in 6, and in some varieties of cancer, it's like 1 in 4. So I wish him a very speedy recovery. He has the money to get all of the treatments he needs. He's a Hall of Famer, so I'm pretty sure the Shield is going to pay for a lot of that, even if it's secretly. The He had cancer of the bile duct, which is Probably some form of pancreatic cancer.
Wow, you are not off at all. Do you know that the AI turned around and pulled it up and said lifetime? It was 1 in 4. You were not off at all. Good
Told you.
God. Good God. That is insane. Oh, wow. That's wow.
I told you. It's like 1 in 6 in some forms of cancer. It's 1 in 4 in others. And for women, it's even higher.
Mike just sent this over. This is that makeshift field that they was talking about.
Yeah, at the National Mall, like where they do the area for the inauguration is where they would do that at. It's kind of cool. I'd be all about it.
That would be very cool. That would be
Listen,
very, very cool.
all I ask is that you do a badass military parade, a la like USSR 1980, down down Pennsylvania Avenue, where we march all of the military and like some of the cool shit.
That'd be
You do a
interesting.
bet. You do a badass flyover with some cool jets.
That's interesting.
But that'd
That's
be cool.
very.
That'd be cool.
I'm
But
not mad
yes,
at it.
I hope. I really do hope that Randy Moss gets better quick and recovers. But if it is cancer of the bile duct, it more than likely. Thanks, Mike. I don't know. I don't pay attention. I don't know streets in DC,
No,
Pennsylvania.
he just knows because he works there. He's just saying.
Listen, Pennsylvania Avenue is the most famous street in the United States. That's the only one I know that goes directly through DC that everything sits on.
Like I said, Mike's just helping you out because he works there. That's all.
He gave me the winky face like he was being a smartass. I don't appreciate it.
Uh, just trust me when I tell you, he's just helping you out because he works there.
I don't,
That's
I
all I'm
don't
saying.
appreciate.
That's all I'm
I don't
saying.
appreciate the sass.
Trust me, you'll take the sass and you'll like it. All right,
Fair enough.
let's get into the popularity contest.
It wasn't a popularity contest.
Oh,
It's not a popularity contest.
it is when Deion Sanders is trying to kick up all the dust and getting his boy.
I don't care that, but that's what Dion did his entire career was run his mouth and kick up dust and cause a show. However,
No, I agree. I actually agree with you because I was shocked when other people were shocked in our chat saying, "How the heck did this guy?" It's like, "Hello, Charles Woodson, two-way player, great offense and defense." It's like, dude, yeah, the best overall player in college football. Hello, yeah,
that's what the award is for.
exactly. And I'm
It's the
sorry.
best overall player. There was a couple of years ago where I lost my mind because I think it was 2 years ago because there was a defensive player who had the best stats and he didn't even get invited to go to New York to the ceremony.
Uh, uh, uh,
He was a lineman.
yeah.
He didn't even get to go to the ceremony. So I have said this for years. The Doak Walker Award is for the best running back in college football. You want to
Oh,
give
Ndamukong Suh
at
was.
and then Dominican Sue was another one that didn't get to go.
Ndamukong Suh was. Yep.
There was one after him. It was recently.
I know. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
But Ashton Genty is the best running back in college football. He should get the Doak Walker Award. He's not the best He's not the best player in college football. The best player in college football played both sides of the ball. Had 10 statistical categories where he was 20th or better. So how you gonna tell me that that kid doesn't deserve the Heisman?
Interesting. Herschel Walker actually was snubbed, and some South Carolina running back named George Rogers won it. Oops.
Mike, it is not a popular. George is just trying to be. Did you not hear the part where he just said he
Marshall
agreed with me?
Falk, Marshall Falk actually got snubbed for Gino Torretta.
Yeah, what happened to Gino Torretta? What's he doing?
Who? he was
Exactly.
he was a quarterback, and I don't know if he even got drafted. Good Lord.
I think he's an official. Didn't Gino Torretta become a referee?
Right?
Gino Torretta was Dominic Toretta's father.
Oh God.
Yes. Yes.
No. No. it it's
Hasn't been a popularity contest in the past. Yes, 100%. However, this year it was not. It wasn't.
yeah,
The guy
no,
who won it,
it was the right winner.
he was the right winner.
He was. When you can do something that talented, to be able to be not just consistent. I mean, you have to be consistent, but to be, as you even said, above average on both sides of the football, you 100% deserve to win that award.
Here's the other thing. He's an anomaly. You know why? He's a cornerback that actually has hands.
Yeah.
Most cornerbacks are failed wide receivers because they can't catch. He's a cornerback that can catch.
Wow.
He's an anomaly.
I'm glad Bryce went to bed, because Bryce would come over here and want to have some words with you.
Is Bryce a cornerback?
Yes, and they've turned around, and he has a very good set of hands. He really does.
Does he play wide receiver?
He has, yes.
Then he's an anomaly too. He's in the good category.
But he likes playing corner and safety.
I'm not saying anything about that, but they transition most wide receivers who can't hack it at wide receiver to cornerback or safety because they can't catch.
Oh, he can catch. He just loves playing defense more than he likes playing offense.
I understand that, but you're not helping me here. I'm trying to say what this kid is doing.
Right.
Is
no, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I do. I know exactly what you're saying.
The fact that this kid is a wide receiver and cornerback and is in the top 5 for touchdowns, passing yards, and catches, along with being in the top 10 for defensive stats, including interceptions. I think he was 7th in the country in interceptions. That's an ability to not only read an offense, but put yourself in the right spot defensively to know
Well,
where that's.
yeah. Well, no, you're right. I mean, and I'm sorry, but like you said, it is that's just like a quarterback makes a good safety because the quarterback expects to know how to read the field. The safeties are the same way. The safeties are the
Yes,
quarterback on the field. You see the field, you can see what you can look at that offense and go, okay, I can anticipate this and this, and I'm good to go.
the right the right winner won the Heisman. And I'm happy for the kid because I said it last Monday. That was my Heisman pick, and everybody was like, "What do you mean, not Austin Genty?" No, Ashton, he did. He's a good running back. He's not. He, he's not the best player in college football.
Not this year, anyway.
No, but the other crazy part is he's not a senior. He could win it next year.
Yeah, he can pull a Archie Griffin.
No, I'm talking about Genty. Genty's not a senior.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what's his name? The
Hunter, Travis.
yeah, it's been a long day. Literally, we just went. It's like running around. Hurry up, get to Bryce's game. Hurry right back here and jump right on.
I
It has
get
been
it.
a long day. It has been a super long day. But no, like I said, I agree. I think the best overall player did win it. And I thought it was interesting. They said that the Army quarterback was like
He
number
was
6.
sixth.
Hey,
He certainly didn't look sixth in voting on Saturday.
I was like, I don't know if that was a jinx or what. 'Cause they were talking about it before the game, and then I'm watching the game and I'm going, ooh. I'm like, there's,
That poor dude looked awful Saturday.
oh,
He looked
I
bad.
mean, you can look, bright lights are upon you, and it's like, dude, you can just have one of those days, and he totally
Yeah,
did.
I don't even know if it was entirely his fault though. That whole Army team just did not.
The offensive line looked a little rough.
The whole thing looked rough. That was
It's like Navy knew what they were doing, and they were like, okay, we got this. We totally got this.
Navy. I think Navy came out mad and just didn't
Mhm.
stop.
Yeah, they looked like they were totally ready to play.
100%.
Army looked like they were ready to just be there to phone it in. That
I don't know if
basically,
they were there to. I think they were there to play a nice casual game of football, and Navy was there to punch people in the face.
right, right. Yeah, well said. Well said.
I think that's what it was. You know, there is one more thing I want to get to though, because I'm glad I checked the update this morning. But good God, that Dubois hit.
I, oh,
Have you
I,
not seen it?
no, I have not.
Dude, it was like getting hit by a Peterbilt. He came over the middle and it was brutal.
Hang on.
It took him 12 minutes. They had to take his shirt off.
Hang on, because I have not seen it.
Between that and and the Lions player breaking his leg on the field.
Oh, I'm telling you what, the Lions have just last night or yesterday was just unfortunate.
All right, here's
I mean,
for
they tried to get themselves back in the game, and that onside kick did not help.
you look.
It didn't help.
You got your ass kicked. It was fine. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen.
And you almost came back to win.
Sure. I will. I will say though. I will say that I need to. I want to contact for the sake of my friends in Detroit who may or may not lose their mind with this team because it's like a mash unit on the field every week. Um, I just I either want to go get like some healing crystals that we could just like walk all over Ford Field with, and maybe like rub them on the field. Do we need to like go sage the stadium? Should we call in a voodoo priestess from New Orleans to come chase out the bad spirits?
Okay. Hang on. I found it. All right.
I gave you several solid jokes and you didn't laugh at a single one of them.
I'm sorry because I was digging this up. My bad. All right. At first, it looked like a bang bang play.
Just, I don't know if they'll slow it down. Oh, they don't play it in slow mo.
No, they don't.
But you can slow it down on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know I can slow it down.
Playback speed. Go to half. There you go.
Yeah. Come on. Come on.
You got to hit play.
I did. It's like the full on thing doesn't want to play nice. It's like, what the hell? Come on. Let's go. You're going to make me do it the hard way, aren't you? Ooh, helmet to helmet. Ooh.
And look at the way he's laying. Look at how his body froze when he got hit.
Oh,
Boom.
man. Oh, yeah. And that, it's like, dude, seriously, the helmet to helmet hit. I don't like when these guys are dropping their heads to go make tackles. It's like you got to look up when you're tackling somebody. You just can't sit there and become a weapon yourself. You know.
Here's the thing. I don't think Bullock necessarily did anything wrong. Because if you look at Dubois, he catches the ball, turns, and drops his head too, in anticipation of getting nailed.
Yeah, but he is.
I don't. I think this is this is.
See right there, he's looking to drop his shoulder. He's looking to drop his shoulder to separate.
I think he's dropping his shoulder to separate the ball. He's not trying to go helmet to helmet.
Correct.
And hurt it.
I agree.
So I think that the hit on Dubois is a result of circumstance and not intentionally. It wasn't intentionally harmful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he just barely like is reaching to catch that football. It's like he never caught it. He clearly never
He
caught
would. It was 12 minutes.
it right there.
12 minutes he was on the field before they got him up and off the. And I believe they had to move part of his shirt and his pads.
And I think the whiplash into that artificial turf did not help.
No,
That definitely that definitely did not help. The way he hit the ground definitely did not help the situation. You could definitely say that hitting that turf that way was probably worse than probably the helmet to helmet hit.
but the way that his hands and his body tensed up.
Yeah. And I was just saying, I'd be checking on him too because his birdies couldn't have been all in the same cage either.
I can't imagine that they were. I mean,
Yeah, he's kind of.
you had Nick Chubb's foot go the other direction yesterday.
Oh,
Did you
oh!
see that yesterday?
I saw the highlight. It was like, ugh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Nick Chubb's foot went the other direction. You had Miles Garrett almost lose an eye.
David Montgomery's out. Chubb's out. McCaffrey's out.
You say McCaffrey's out. Like we're not surprised by that.
Yeah. Um,
The fact that it's not week 2 and he's out is the surprising part.
Trevon Diggs from the Cowboys, he's also out now. So the Cowboys defense is going to suck again. There's a lot of dudes that hit the injury bug yesterday, and in my fantasy leagues, it's going to be a couple of running backs I think are going to be noted as needing to be replaced.
There, it wasn't just like normal injuries though. Like they were gruesome.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Like they were particularly brutal injuries. Was it McNeil in the Detroit game that got his leg broken?
That's
And they
Montgomery.
cut. Was it Montgomery?
David Montgomery, running back.
Montgomery tore his MCL.
Toward the MCL. Yeah.
No, there was a dude in the Lions game who also
Oh,
broke his leg.
the corner.
Yes,
Yeah.
McNeil broke his leg, had to be carted off.
And I'll jinx the Buffalo Bills right now. Super Bowl bound, baby.
Dude,
Go for it.
dude, I think they could win the Super Bowl. I think that's your AFC representative right there is the Bills.
Dude, they ran through Detroit like they were on a mission. It was a I don't know what that over under was yesterday, but they blew the doors off of that thing. And especially
It,
after the Bills and the Rams went 44-42 the week before, I had a funny feeling that game was going to go that way.
so Uh, this is the 30th anniversary of the last Buffalo Super Bowl appearance. It was 94.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl and wins this year? Like, what kind of party are they having in Buffalo?
Save. You're gonna have a new slogan. Save the tables. A lot of tables about to be broken.
And and
I think this is where Devon and Bubba turn around and get some royalties.
for sure. But the other thing is, like, how many of those old players that are still around from those teams come back? And if they win, is Scott Norwood finally allowed to show his face in Buffalo again?
He actually has. There's a little documentary thing on Netflix. I've watched it. It was pretty cool. They did
Unless they
cover.
drug him, unless they brought him in the bulletproof Pope mobile.
No, he's been there for a few things. Now they've let him back into Buffalo. That poor guy. I mean, I remember I was watching it on my brother's TV when I was up in Michigan, and I was just like, this poor dude just can't catch a break. I was like, oh my god.
I watched. I remember watching that Super Bowl, and then I watched the year after when they got housed by Dallas, and then housed by Dallas. Or no,
Yeah, it was House by Dallas twice.
back to back years though, because it went because the unknown trivia question is what division did Buffalo lose all four Super Bowls to?
Yeah, it was back to back on the Cowboys. It was the last two were the Cowboys. First one was the Giants. Second one was the Redskins. Then the last two were both against Dallas.
Right. What division are all three of those teams in?
The the NFC East.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if it's the Eagles?
Ghost. Yes, it's the Eagles.
It's the Eagles in Buffalo. Oh my God! Sam would lose his ever living mind. Oh dear God! Oh,
Now now I want the Eagles to make it to the
oh
Super Bowl because I want them to be the only NFC East team to
team
not beat
not
Buffalo in
beat
the
the
Super Bowl.
Buffalo Bills. Oh,
Yep.
poor Sam probably logged off already. He's missing this. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. See what we come up with it towards the end of the show. That's awesome. That's awesome. So yep, everybody but
I did my part. I did my part. I did my part. I didn't do shit.
oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I Mike was saying about the commercial break. Well, there's nothing else you can do except do that. No, that would be great. Yeah. That oh my god, that Starship Troopers meme would be all over the place. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. Oh, oh my gosh.
I
Oh
would
man.
make it and send it to Sam the moment that the Super Bowl was over and the Buffalo Bills beat the.
Oh jeez.
Speaking of
Oh
Sam and the
man.
speaking of Sam and the Eagles,
Well,
when I go in when I
we're
go
gonna
into that
definitely have them
show,
on next. We're gonna have them on next week.
well, when I go in there and he's talking about the Eagles, there's some woman who listens to that show that gets awful defensive about the Eagles
Yep.
every time.
Yep. They're very passionate.
She told me today that I need to keep the Eagles the name of the Eagles out of my mouth, and I said no, I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Ooh. All right.
I had
Well, we're gonna get
I
out
had,
of here.
I had somebody else there ask me who I thought I was, and I was like, I am me.
Right. Now we'll turn around and we'll have a fun Christmas show next week. We'll have friends on, and we will turn around and get our rapping before the rapping next week
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm
Between today
free
and
and clear.
tomorrow, I got Christmas shop.
I'm free and clear Tuesday and Wednesday. So say goodnight, Gracie, and we'll see you all next week for
Good
our
night,
Christmas
Gracie.
episode.
That takes care of the 4 minutes. Say goodnight, Grayson.
Good night.
Good night. I said say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Good night.
So I said, well, flip a coin. And if it comes out heads, have your hair dyed.
And if it comes out tails, say goodnight, Gracie.